From the ocean floor to your dinner plate, this is the incredible journey of the lobster. We'll take you behind the scenes, from the traps at sea to high-tech processing lines, all the way to juicy, flame-grilled perfection. Get ready for a front-row seat to how lobsters are caught, cleaned, cooked, and served like royalty. It all starts early in the morning as lobster boats head out to sea. On board are hundreds of special lobster traps, each loaded with bait to lure the lobsters in. These traps are dropped into the ocean, usually near rocky bottoms where lobsters love to hide, and marked with colorful buoys floating on the surface. After several hours or even a day, the boat returns to pull the traps back up. This is the most exciting part. One by one, traps are hauled from the water, and inside, hopefully, a few lively lobsters that followed the scent of bait and crawled in. Now let's take a look behind the scenes where lobsters begin their lives, not in the deep ocean, but in carefully controlled hatcheries. It starts with close-up views of lobster eggs, tiny, orange, and clustered under the tail of a mother lobster. These egg-bearing females, often called buried lobsters, are brought into the hatchery to protect and monitor the hatching process. Once the eggs hatch, the baby lobsters, called larvae, are transferred into special tanks. These tanks provide the perfect environment for early development, stable temperature, clean seawater, and just the right amount of light. Some are placed in aerated tanks where water bubbles constantly to keep oxygen levels high. Once they're strong enough, juvenile lobsters are carefully scooped from their trays and released into the sea. First, the freshly caught lobsters are brought straight to the facility and placed into large tanks filled with cold, clean seawater. This helps keep them alive and calm after the trip from sea to shore. Here's where things get interesting. The lobsters pass through an automatic size grading system. With high-speed sensors and rollers, the machine sorts each lobster based on weight and size, preparing them for packaging. Next, the packed lobster boxes move on to the freezing stage. Each lobster is placed into an IQF chamber that stands for Individual Quick Freezing. Inside this ultra-cold room, powerful blasts of air rapidly freeze the lobsters, locking in their freshness and texture. From here, workers begin separating the lobsters into two main parts: the tails and the claws. The tails go straight into deep freezing. They're neatly arranged and packed into boxes ready for retail or export. Meanwhile, the claws are carefully boiled to loosen the meat. Skilled workers then crack open the shell and extract the tender claw meat. You'll see close-up shots of this part. It's delicate work that takes both speed and precision. Once the meat is collected, it's packed into sealed bags or trays. These packs are then placed back into the IQF chamber for a final round of quick freezing. While all this is happening, some of the live lobsters that haven't been processed are being carefully prepared for shipment. Freshly harvested, they're lifted from holding tanks and lined up for packing. Each lobster is gently arranged into boxes, stacked neatly to prevent damage. Once full, the boxes are sealed, labeled, and stacked high, ready to be shipped around the globe. Now it's time to cook and serve the lobster. And it starts with a beautiful boil. The lobsters are gently lowered into hot, bubbling water. Within minutes, their shells turn a stunning, bright red, a true sign of perfect doneness. The lobster is placed on the grill, the flames licking the shell, the seasoning sizzling on the hot surface. Slowly, it roasts to perfection, locking in all the flavors. Did you know jumbo squid can grow over 2 meters long and weigh more than 50 kilos? In this video, you'll see how these giant squid are carefully caught, cleaned, and turned into perfect rings and fillets inside high-tech processing plants. If you've ever wondered how those tender squid rings end up in your favorite dishes, this is the story behind it. At night, small fishing boats head out first. They rely on strong lights to lure jumbo squid to the surface. It's a traditional method where fishermen use hand-operated or semi-automatic jigging lines. Up close, it's even more fascinating. Automatic jigging machines pull squid up rapidly, one after another, squirting jets of water and ink as they're hauled in. The crew works non-stop, removing hooks and stacking the catch into chilled containers to keep it fresh for processing. Right after being caught, the squid is stored immediately in large ice holds, deep inside the boat's cold storage compartments. When the boat returns to port, workers haul the frozen squid up from the ice holds. It's heavy work. These squid can weigh anywhere from 10 to 30 kilograms each, and there are tons of them packed tightly together. The catch is transferred from the boat to the docks, first by hand or with hooks, then with cranes for larger loads. As soon as the squid enters the plant, it goes through strict quality testing. Once approved, the squid moves to the cleaning and filleting section. Here, workers rinse off any remaining ice and seawater, scrubbing the surface clean before cutting. The filleting process is fast but precise. Skilled workers slice the body open, remove the internal organs, and cut the meat into thick, even fillets. Next, we move on to one of the most prized parts of the jumbo squid, the tentacles. The tentacles are quickly dipped into hot water or steam for a short time, usually less than a minute, to avoid overcooking. Now we move to the main processing of jumbo squid fillets, turning those large slabs of squid into the familiar rings and packaged products we see on the market. The large pieces are sliced into perfect circular rings. Precision cutting machines are often used to keep the thickness uniform, which is important for even cooking later. After this, the rings go through another washing stage before being placed into draining baskets, ready for blanching. Blanching is a key step. The squid rings pass through hot water or steam for a very short time on the conveyor, just enough to firm the texture and lock in freshness. Nothing goes to waste. Any leftover trimmings or small pieces are cut into smaller portions. Finally, all types of squid rings, fillets, and trimmings are weighed and packed. Vacuum-sealed or quick-frozen packaging is used to keep the squid fresh and preserve its texture. The finished packs are then stored in cold warehouses, ready for shipment to markets and restaurants worldwide. Rows of eel tanks stretch across the farm. Each one simulates the eel's natural habitat, dark, moist, and rich in oxygen. Crushed ice is added into the tanks. This helps reduce stress for the eels and keeps the water temperature stable. Countless eels slither together inside the tank. Their movement is smooth and synchronized, almost hypnotic to watch. A suction pipe gently moves the eels from one tank to another, minimizing human contact and avoiding injury. Workers begin sorting the eels by size and weight. This helps separate fast-growing ones from the rest for better feeding efficiency. Feed preparation begins. A mix of grains, fish meal, and supplements is blended into a soft, nutritious paste that eels love. Automated feed spreaders move slowly across the yard. With measured precision, they lay out uniform layers of food for the donkeys. Harvesting the smaller eels begins. Nets sweep gently through the water, collecting juveniles for transfer or sale. The larger mature eels are next. Their glossy bodies glisten as they are lifted from the water, ready for processing. Grooming is essential. Farmers brush their coats and file their hooves, keeping them clean, comfortable, and infection-free. At the factory, eels are sorted again, this time by automated systems that ensure consistent size and quality. The grading machine handles eels with precision, streamlining the process and reducing manual labor. A specialized machine makes a clean incision along the eel's belly, preparing it for gutting. Donkey hair is cleaned and processed for use in brushes or textiles. Nothing goes to waste on the farm. The eels enter a roasting conveyor line. Flames and heat work evenly, creating golden, aromatic grilled eel. Workers inspect each grilled eel. Only perfectly roasted ones are approved, those with crisp skin and tender meat. Eels are flash frozen to preserve their texture and flavor, locked in at the peak of freshness. Diners enjoy the final dishes. Tender, flavorful, and unique. Donkey meat is both a delicacy and a cultural experience. Boxes are loaded for delivery. From farm to factory, eel products begin their journey across the country. Finally, grilled eel is served on the table, tender, savory, and rich in tradition. A delicacy that speaks of patience and craft. Gecko farming is booming across Asia, turning these small reptiles into big business. Once valued only in traditional medicine, geckos are now farmed on a large scale for food, health supplements, and even international export. Gecko farming has become a growing business in many Asian countries, especially in Vietnam, Thailand, and Indonesia. Geckos are highly valued in traditional Chinese medicine. People believe they help treat asthma, boost energy, and improve overall health. In Asia, there are two main types of gecko farms. Small family farms usually raise 500 to 2,000 geckos in simple wooden or brick enclosures. Larger commercial farms, however, can raise 10,000 to 50,000 geckos at a time, often with controlled temperature and humidity to keep the animals healthy. Geckos are fascinating creatures. Watch this. The gecko is shedding its old skin. This process happens every few weeks as they grow. Geckos don't just leave the skin behind, they actually eat it, because it's full of nutrients and helps them stay healthy in the wild. But here's something even more interesting. Geckos can drop their tails. This is called autotomy, a natural defense mechanism. Within a few weeks or months, they can regrow a new tail, although it's often shorter. In farms across Asia, cockroaches are a favorite because they're easy to breed. Crickets are one of the most common foods for farmed geckos. They're high in calcium, perfect for strong bones and healthy growth. Farmers often scatter live insects like this, keeping the geckos active. They can also eat fruits. Breeding geckos is one of the most fascinating parts. During mating, you'll often see the male gently bite the female's neck to keep her still. Once fertilized, the female chooses a safe spot to lay her eggs, often sticking them firmly to walls or wooden surfaces. In farms, breeders provide special wooden trays like these to make egg collection easier. Once fertilized, the female chooses a safe spot to lay her eggs, often sticking them firmly to walls or wooden surfaces. In farms, breeders provide special wooden trays like these to make egg collection easier. And here's the best part. After about 60 to 90 days, depending on the temperature, tiny baby geckos finally hatch. These hatchlings are small but fully independent, ready to start hunting tiny insects from day one. Once the geckos are fully grown and ready for sale, farmers carefully collect them by hand and place them into breathable mesh sacks. Dozens of sacks filled with healthy geckos, all carefully packed to avoid injury. The sacks are then neatly loaded into crates for easier handling and shipping. After harvesting, many geckos are preserved by drying, a traditional method that has been used for centuries across Asia. First, the geckos are cleaned and prepared before being carefully laid out to dry. Take a closer look. You can see every detail of these dried geckos. Their skin becomes thin and crisp, and the body hardens, making them easy to store and transport. Farmers usually bundle them in tight bunches, ready for sale. Dried geckos are one of the most valued ingredients in traditional Asian medicine. In many places, especially in China, Vietnam, and Thailand, dried geckos are soaked in herbal wine, a practice that has been passed down for generations. This medicinal wine, known for its strong, earthy flavor, is believed to boost energy, improve lung health, and even increase vitality. In many Asian countries, they're also a unique delicacy. After being carefully processed, the geckos are cleaned and gutted, with their skin peeled off to prepare for cooking. From crispy fried gecko to gecko cooked with herbs or stewed with medicinal ingredients, these dishes are believed to be not only delicious but also packed with nutrients. From the peaceful walnut orchards to the busy factory floor, every walnut goes through an extraordinary journey. This is a story of innovation, care, and nature working together. In this video, we explore how farmers grow, harvest, and process millions of walnuts every year, revealing the secrets behind this nutritious nut. It starts with land preparation. Farmers till the soil, adding nutrients to ensure that the saplings will grow in optimal conditions, with the right moisture and drainage. An automated potting system takes over next. Soil is evenly filled into pots, ensuring consistency and reducing manual labor for the nursery workers. Once the seedlings are healthy and strong, they are taken out of the nursery, ready to be planted in the open field. A wide-angle view reveals rows of young walnut trees stretching across the farmland, a green carpet in the making. These trees take several years to mature. Once grown, they reach several meters tall and begin to produce clusters of green walnuts, wrapped in thick husks. As harvest season arrives, large mechanical harvesters are brought into the orchard, ready to collect the nuts in bulk. The harvester clamps onto the tree trunk and delivers a powerful shake. Within seconds, hundreds of walnuts drop to the ground like a wave.